let the media spook you on some weirdos out there that may or may not be out there to kill you. Halloween is here. But I'm so sick of grown-ups and their paranoia around trick-or-treating. Like everyone's out there to get me with their drugs and poison candy. I mean, Mom, relax. I think you're overreacting. So is Halloween sadism real? Or is it just something that parents and the media told us to make sure we behave during trick-or-treating? Well, first, let's take a quick look at the history of Halloween and trick-or-treating. People in America always assume Halloween comes from Dia de los Muertos. It's not. It's two different things. Nope, it's actually from the old Celtic holiday, Samhain. That's a Samhain. No, it's, I know, but it's pronounced Samhain. Yeah, but phonetically, that would say... It's pronounced Samhain, we're moving on. Samhain? Yes, it's, again, mark the in-between of light and dark season. Or, in understandable terms, the end of summer harvest and the beginning of winter. The thought was that during that time, there was an opening for spirits to come through and people would dress up to scare and confuse them from wreaking havoc. Alright, it was over 2,000 years ago. But then in the 700s, Christianity did that thing that Christianity always loves to do, and it was like, oh, pagans in my good Christian neighborhood? No, that won't do. And created All Saints Day to celebrate the saints and All Souls Day to celebrate the dead. Because you could just do that back then, make new holiday just because. But eventually, Samhain, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day all kind of melded into Halloween. Why the name? Because All Saints Day was also called All Hallowmas. They gotta get more creative with this. Alright, well, we got the name, but what about trick-or-treating? Well, on All Souls Day, kids would go from door to door from neighboring homes asking for food and money in return for praying for those who had passed from that family's home. Halloween didn't really exist in America until all the Irish immigrants came over from Ireland, because where else would they be coming from? They're Irish. And with that came trick-or-treating. Except back then it was mostly just tricking. And by tricking, I mean, vandalism of personal property in their homes and physical assault. That, I mean, only got a little bit worse during the Great Depression.
Oh, better.
Because after World War II, people had money and sugar wasn't as sparse. Halloween costumes could be mass-produced for cheap and neighborhoods would set up trick-or-treat trails for kids to keep them out of trouble. And that is how we have the Halloween we have today. Alright, well, when did people start putting drugs in all my candy? First of all, this is blown way out of proportion. No one's putting drugs in candy. Well, no one's putting drugs in your kids' candy. They're definitely putting drugs in candy. Why? Because no one's wasting that much money on strangers' kids that they don't know. For states that recreational drugs are in fact legal, like New Jersey, do you not see how much that costs? Like, my friends are so stingy that they Venmo me for a Bud Light. Do you think someone's gonna spend all that money on a kid they don't know? In this economy, no one cares about your kid that much, Deborah. So where did this all stem from then? Well, during the hysteria of the Vietnam War, in 1970, the New York Times ran an opinion article that people were putting laxatives and sleeping pills in candy. Yeah, well, unless I'm really dumb, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna notice this. Turns out those were all lies. In fact, enough research was done up until 1985 to prove that with the help from the police, almost every single reported case of drugs in candy or razors and apples, etc., had been a hoax or fake report. And any tainted candy reports were very explainable from any health professional from illnesses or previous health conditions. No, that little girl did not have poisoning, there were heart murmurs. And no, your child is not throwing up because they ate drugs in their candy, they're throwing up, Deborah, because you let your son have 15 candy bars in the span of 20 minutes. Well, I mean, except that one time in 1974. A Texas man named Ronald O'Brien gave cyanide-laced pixie sticks to 5 children, including his son Timothy. The other children never ate the candy, but his 8-year-old son did, and died soon after. While no one had seen him actually do it, there was proof that he did take out a life insurance policy on his son just prior to this. It's kinda sus, not gonna lie. But that's just a one-off, right? Well, if you're old enough and you remember 1982 and the whole Tylenol deaths in Chicago from the cyanide poisoning. What happened there again? There was a string of deaths caused by Tylenol that had been tampered with officials finding cyanide inside the capsules. And the recent memory of the Texas man lacing pixie sticks, understandably, the hysteria went from poison medicine to poison candy. The irony though is we're always told never to take candy that's already been opened, but those Tylenol containers were closed and the whole thing where they're on the store shelf. Well, at least we have anti-tampering laws now. But in America, we haven't had any situations like this since then, which is well over 40 years ago. Now, that's not to say, yeah, just let your kid go run free on Halloween, the world's carefree and amazing, and everything's gonna be okay. Adult supervision and safety is important, and that's why more controlled events like trunk-or-treating are becoming more and more popular. So as much as you may want to believe that there's some psycho killer out there, I don't know, filling up Reese's cups or Milky Ways with poison or acid, more than likely this Halloween, you and your kids are gonna be okay. Don't let the media spook you on some weirdos out there that may or may not be out there to kill you. Happy Halloween. So you made it to the very end. Tell me your favorite Halloween story in the comments so I know that you actually made it here. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. I'm trying to make it to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, and every like and subscription helps. And most importantly, have a fun and safe Halloween.